We moved here about a month ago. My parents, they said it'd be better for me and my brother Eric. I was miserable. I hated it. Till I met my first friend, Maurice. I'll never, ever have a friend like him again.
Because he was killed in the monster version of Nam. Welcome to Distracted Nerd, where today we are tackling the extremely 80s movie Little Monsters starring Fred Savage, about the monsters that live under your bed and mess things up in your house that your parents will eventually blame you for, and in some cases get divorced. Spoiler alert, and Fred Savage plays Brian, and he lives with his parents Glenn, played by Daniel Stern, Holly, played by the lady who was the mean owner in Major League, and his younger brother Eric, played by Fred Savage's real-life brother Ben in his very first acting role. And Brian's parents are stressed because they bought a fixer-upper that's turning into a money pit, and every day they wake up and blame Brian for things that he swears he didn't do, like leaving ice cream in the cupboard, leaving his bike behind his dad's car, and leaving a peanut butter and onion sandwich in the living room. And now the up thing is that the peanut butter and onion sandwich was 100% Brian. How do you even develop a taste for something like that? And now the monsters that leave things around for kids to get blamed, usually it's just harmless mischief, but Brian's dad is such an that I feel he's a step on a Lego away from smacking his son. Like, come on, monsters, the dude's already stressed. I mean, he has the headache from his money troubles, and most likely a headache because he wears the largest pair of glasses that aren't a novelty pair. And Brian has no idea they're monsters, but Eric sees them every night, and he tries to convince his friend Todd, played by yours truly, the distracted nerd. And on the way to school, Brian blames Eric for leaving his bike behind his dad's car, and Eric blames the monster under the bed, and Brian throws Eric's lunch out the moving bus as punishment. And we then learn who the most powerful kid in town is.
Who's Eric?
Like, the bus driver stops the bus in the middle of the street, so the local bully, Ronnie Coleman, played by Devin Rattray, aka Buzz from Home Alone, can get on the bus and threaten a kindergartner. But then the bus driver brake checks him, getting sandwich stuff all over him, and then Ronnie storms off the bus.
I'm surprised you haven't eaten it already, huh?
Careful, Brian, he's got mustard on his jacket. No, look out, Brian, he's gonna smear mustard on you. Gross.
Break it up! Break it up! What is going on here?
Sir, I was just showing Brian what he did to my shirt, and he pushed me away.
Oh, come on!
The principal breaks up the fight and immediately blames Brian. Like, Devin Rattray really nailed the ungodly prick that every adult thinks is a saint role. Brian then meets Kirsten.
There's enough power in here to light up Yankee Stadium. Already out in parole? Very funny. So what's up, Miss DeVoe?
You really want to know, or are you just asking?
I really want to know. So I guess it's all set. Me and you'll team up on the project.
Forget it, Brian. I'll end up doing all the work. No chance. Find somebody else to leech off of.
Hey, all right. You know what? Think about it. Take your time. You'll probably change your mind.
I love how Hollywood likes to make it seem like when a 12-year-old boy meets a precocious 12-year-old girl, they immediately have this spunky LA Law-style banter. In reality, Brian's just like, so, Kirsten, do you like stuff?
Say there's no monster, then switch rooms with me. What? Switch rooms with me? Yeah. You sleep in Eric's room, and he sleeps in your room.
I ad-libbed all of my lines, and so Brian agrees to sleep in Eric's room to prove that monsters aren't real, but then when he goes in there, he notices everything's messed up and the TV's playing in the closet. Oh, Andre, stop squirming. Play dead. Alas, my brother Andre is ready to meet death and pay the exorbitant toll to enter the afterlife. Oh, Andre, if only you could speak to us from the great beyond and tell us what awaits behind the black curtain. Oh, And so Brian sets up an elaborate booby trap in the room. And now last week we had 90s Cheetos on the big green. And this week we've got 80s Doritos. Oh my God, I can taste them right now. And oh my God, just like the kids in the big green, Brian is wasting these beautiful snacks. You can spread them out a little bit, Brian. My God, they don't make them like that anymore. And so the bed collapses, trapping the monster in his room, which from a logistical standpoint is just a terrible idea. You now have this feral creature trapped in here with you, and it's probably frantic and scared. Like, that's how you get your dick bit off, Brian. Do you want your dick bit off? So Brian arms the trap, and he catches a monster named Maurice, played by Howie Mandel. And the sun starts to rise, and Brian, he's a little slow.
Light! The sun! The sun! The sun! Ow! Whoa! Ow!
What's happening? What's going on? You're dying. It's the sunlight, isn't it? First it disfigures you, then it kills you.
I mean, most of us gathered that when he started smoking and screaming sunlight in a terrified voice. And then we learn what kind of grudges Brian can hold.
Under the bed before the sun totally rises.
No way. You wrecked my bike.
Man, Brian is stone cold. Holy shit. And so before it's more than 2 minutes too late, Brian springs into action. And for all Brian knows, he's just dumping the corpse of a monster back into the monster's homeworld. But luckily Maurice isn't dead, and now they're best friends. And I just realized that this is the second character Howie Mandel has played that undergoes a transformation if hit with direct sunlight. Well, I guess 3 if you count that episode when Bobby got sun poisoning. And Maurice returns the next night.
I get it!
Oh, Jesus, Brian. It took you 24 hours to finally get it?
Just brilliant. You must be in what, at least grade 2?
Oh, and Maurice is Canadian. All right. And so Maurice takes Brian under the bed to the monster world, and it is a shithole. All the adult in me can think is that I hope Brian has his tetanus shot. And the monsters have ladders to every child's bed, and they go wreak havoc every night, including replacing Ronnie's tuna sandwich with cat food, and in one of the most famous pranks, replacing his apple juice with piss. And like my one old man thing is that kids today don't have nearly enough piss humor in their movies. And the next day at school, we get probably one of the most famous lines of all time.
Who put piss in my apple juice?
And Rick Ducommun plays an evil monster named Snick. And like I said in my blank check video, Rick Ducommun was awesome. And I remember in grade 3, I started a Rick Ducommun fan club. We were called the Ducommun Denominators. And Rick Ducommun had real difficulties moving and emoting with all the prosthetics they had on him. And my producer was able to obtain a deleted scene where Rick Ducommun had a breakdown over the makeup.
Too much shit on me. Too much shit on me. I can't breathe.
And Snick is the enforcer for the ruler of the monster world, a monster named Boy. And then Brian's parents reveal that they're going to separate for a while. And so Maurice takes Brian out to cheer him up, and they end up in the room of a tiny baby. But Brian thinks that it's too cruel and that the monsters are taking it too far. And Maurice, who's been a pretty good friend so far, starts to give Brian shit for it. And holy hell, as a sheltered Catholic grade school kid, I understand this so much. Like when I would hang out with my grandma's neighbor Jared, who did not go to Catholic school, but it was cool because Jared liked Marvel cards and Ninja Turtles, like it was fine. But then when Jared's buddies would show up, they didn't give a shit about Marvel cards or Ninja Turtles. And despite us all being the same age, these kids seemed like 5 years older than me, and they'd want to smoke cigarettes and like steal people's mail. And I'm all like, I don't know, Jared, this seems like crossing a line. And Jared and all of his buddies were like, stop being a little bitch. But also, I should mention that I would walk to my grandma's house after school, and this particular day I forgot to bring my play clothes, so I'm wearing my school uniform, and I really did look like a so I couldn't even defend myself. Man, I was so desperate for an adult to come along. So yeah, Brian, I feel ya. And Brian realizes he doesn't want to hang out with the monsters anymore, but when light hits him, his arm disappears, and he realizes he's turning into a monster. That's how I felt when I pretended to smoke that cigarette with Jared and his buddies, and in my navy blue Catholic school dockers and loafers. I have never felt more evil. So Brian cuts all the legs off all the beds in the house, and Snick is furious because they almost had Brian, and he was becoming a monster himself. So Snick finds a loophole and enters Brian's house through the fold-out couch, and he kidnaps Eric, and Brian is forced to recruit Todd and Kirsten to help him. And we're treated to an awesome scene showing them preparing for the final battle, when Kirsten leads them into the supply closet to stock up on all the lights they need to fight the monsters. And Todd provided a single sweet-ass beret. And now that was my personal beret from home, and I brought enough for all 3 of us to wear, but Fred Savage screamed at me in front of the entire crew for like 15 minutes about how stupid berets were. Like, I was near tears, and no one would come help me. Like, I know Howie Mandel saw, but then he just pretended like someone called his name and he walked off. Fred Savage was a menace on set. So the kids make their way through the monster world, and they get to Boy's lair, and they prepare for the epic final showdown.
And you brought some little playmates along with you. How nice.
And Boy is creepy as shit. And now I remember so much about this movie, but my brain blocked out Boy completely. Like seeing Frank Whaley dressed as a schoolboy who's like an evil overlord monster. This is brand new information for my adult brain. Like, it's remarkable. I retained almost every story beat, plot point, quote, and characters, but boy is not in my brain anywhere. Just truly remarkable. And Eric is strung up on a giant dartboard, and boy unleashes the most evil, most diabolical, most dangerous weapon that any monster could conjure up. Those lawn darts that we all had as kids. Did anyone else remember chucking those things straight up in the air and running to try to dodge them as they hurtled toward the earth? Or were you all not stupid? And Boy says it'll let Eric go if Brian agrees to stay and become a monster. And then Boy reveals his true form. Like, seriously. I remember none of this. Is this like a special director's cut that they added Boy to? Like, has Boy always been the main villain? I always thought Snick was the main villain. Why don't I remember Boy? And so the monsters destroy all the lights that the kids have, and they throw them in the dungeon, and they're rescued by Maurice, and we get our second scene of them raiding the supply closet and building light weapons, and again entering Boy's lair for a final showdown. It just seems weird to do all this twice. Like, this movie's only 90 minutes long, so this has strong shortening the margins on a book report energy. But this time around, they somehow recruited Ronnie to help. And also, once Ronnie learns how the monsters operate, this question
Who put piss in my apple juice?
is going to become very apparent to him. I don't know how he's going to react. So they blast Boy and Snick with the light, and they find Eric, but they don't make it back to Brian's house in time. And they're now stuck as monsters forever. But then Brian remembers time zones exist, so they go through the monster world and run to California where the sun hasn't risen yet, and Brian and Maurice share a heartfelt goodbye.
He was the best friend I've ever had.
And like, this is sweet and heartwarming, but you have to imagine that Maurice, he probably smells like shit. I mean, right? He's a monster. I don't think he showers. And speaking of smelling like shit, the kids emerge from a homeless man's butt in California. Today's episode is titled The Impractical Joker. Which one? James, Brian, or Sal? Oh. Yeah, I've never actually seen Impractical Jokers.
This is my niece, Lacey Underall. Lacey's mother has sent her to us for the summer.
Yes, I was getting really tired of having fun all the time.
Ah!
Why don't you drop by the yacht club?
No. Thank you, sir. All right.
How are you, Corey? All right. You?
What a place you've got here, Corey.
Glad you like it.
I didn't say I liked it. I think it stinks.
Well, you don't have to live here.
No, but I have to come back here 4 times a year. That's 8 months out of 12, Corey, away from Earth.
Yes, I can't believe we have to come here every 3 months. I don't even see my own mother that often. I also don't see my mother-in-law that often, but I'm not too worried about that one.
Step into the clear, Destro, if you've got the guts.
I don't take orders from someone with that blonde of a beard. It's like too blonde to really take you seriously. I mean, even Hulk Hogan stopped at a mustache, and he looks badass, but it would look absolutely shit with a full beard. Now, hang back, he's right.